Formatting Excel data into a table can be done with a few clicks. If you have a workbook with 3 sheets of data all needing to be formatted into a table, it would take too many clicks. Automate that shit. This Excel script will format all the data in my workbook into tables. You can even customize the table style, which I'll cover at the end of this video. The script is linked in the description box below. I'm going to copy it to my clipboard so I can add it in Excel. In Excel, click on the Automate tab and click on New Script. I'm going to highlight this script and paste the script that's on my clipboard here. Click the script name to rename it. I'm going to leave the default save location since I plan to use this in a Power Automate flow. Press Save Script to save it. Let's give this script a test. You can see that it's formatted the data in each of these sheets into tables with a single click. It's also named the table by appending an underscore and the sheet name to the word table. A table must be selected when using the list rows present in a table action in Microsoft Power Automate. In a previous video, I covered 2 ways to get your data from Excel into a SharePoint list. Watch this video to find out how to build this flow. I want to adjust this flow so that I can trigger it from a selected file instead of using a manual trigger. First, I'll create a new instant cloud flow. We'll use the For a Selected File trigger. Select your location and document library. Next, add a Run Script action. Select your location and document library. For the file name, I'll insert the file dynamic content. I'll select my script from the drop-down menu. In my script, I've included a sheet count output. We'll need this for later. I'll add a compose action to store the output of the total sheet count. Let's run a test. In my document library, I have this Excel file. Currently, there aren't any tables in this workbook. I'll click the 3 dots, select Automate, and my flow. The output of this compose action is 3, which matches the number of sheets I have in my workbook. Add an initialize variable action. We'll use this variable to store the number of tables returned from an action we'll add in a minute. The number of sheets being returned from the run script action is a number. We'll need this variable to be a number as well. Set the type to integer. Add a do until action. I'll insert the variable here. Leave this as is equal to, and insert the outputs from the compose action above here. The do until action will loop the actions that will be nesting below until the number stored in the variable matches the number of sheets in my workbook. Click on Change Limits. You can set the maximum number of times these actions will run until it moves to the next action. This is to ensure your flow doesn't get stuck in an endless loop. The default count is 60. I'm going to change it to 3. You can also adjust the timeout, which is 1 hour by default. I'll adjust mine to 30 minutes. Adjust the conditions and settings of the do until action to suit your needs. We'll be storing the number of tables in the variable. For this, we'll need to insert a get tables action. Select the location and document library. Insert the file name dynamic content here. Add a set variable action. After the get tables action runs, we need to check the number of tables in the workbook. We'll need an expression for that. Insert the length function. Insert the value dynamic content from the get tables action. Wrap the length function in an int function so it converts the length into a number. Press the up arrow key to move your cursor to the start of the expression. Press the down arrow key to move to the end of the expression. Let's give that a test. We need a way to pass the table name into the list rows present in a table action. I'd like to return the name of the first table. The output of the get tables action is stored in an array. The first item in an array is 0, second is 1, third is 2, and so on. Insert a compose action. This compose action is optional. I like to use compose actions to help with troubleshooting and testing. Insert an expression. Enter a 0 within square brackets. Insert another set of square brackets and single quotes. I'll type in name to return the name of the table. Place your cursor at the start of the expression and insert the value dynamic content from the get tables action. Let's run a test. It's returning the first table. If I change this number to 1 and run another test, it will return the second table. Adjust this expression to suit your needs. I'm going to change this back to 0. Add a list rows present in a table action. Select your location and document library. Insert the file name dynamic content here. Select Enter a custom value and insert the outputs from the compose action above. If your data contains dates and times, click on Show Advanced Options and select ISO 8601 for your date-time format. Because I'm using dynamic content to specify a table rather than selecting it from a drop-down list, the dynamic content from the list rows present in a table action aren't available. We need a parse JSON action. Before we can add that action to our flow, we'll need sample data. I'll save the flow and run a test. Copy the outputs from the list rows present in a table action to your clipboard. Add a parse JSON action. Insert the value dynamic content from the action above here. Click on Generate from Sample and paste the content from your clipboard and press Done. Add and apply to each action. Insert the body from the parse JSON action above. Add a compose action. You can see that all the column headers are here under the parse JSON action title. I'll add the project name for testing purposes. I'll save the flow and run a test. I'm going to copy the apply to each action from my original flow to my clipboard. I'll click on the 3 dots and select Copy to my clipboard. I'll delete this apply to each action and add the one on my clipboard into my current flow. I'm going to replace this with the body dynamic content from the parse JSON action. Take note of how these dynamic content labels look now. Let's save this flow and run a test. I've cleared out my SharePoint list. The flow ran successfully and my items have been created in my SharePoint list. You can also see here that the dynamic content labels look a little bit different now. I didn't need to select any dynamic content because I'm using the same data as I used in my previous video. As I mentioned at the start of this video, you can customize the table style in the script. Scroll down to line 39 of the script. Change the text here to match the Excel table styles. Let's change it to medium 13. I'll save my script and run a test. What other automations are you looking to build for your daily workflow? Let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful and plan to use the run script action in your Power Automate flow, please consider giving this video a like. If you'd like to see the 2 ways I get data from Excel into SharePoint, watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new Power Automate tutorials. Thanks for watching.